Welcome to Caching Waves. This is your Elliott Wave update for Filecoin. Now, since our low in December, we had a three-wave move to the upside, had a three-wave move to the downside, and we're currently having three-wave move to the upside. Now, there's a lot of things that can happen in this area. I just got to be clear. This is currently my primary count based on everything else that's going on in the market. But we need to see some follow-through in this area because as soon as we drop too low here, if we break structure like below here, it switches probabilities pretty significantly that we're making something way more complex. That would be below about 415. So we really need this area to hold and to also keep our contracting nature of our diagonal here. Otherwise, everything gets out of whack and all the guidelines go out the window. Now, there's a lot of complex things can happen. That's just one example. But as of right now, if this falls apart, I won't be very interested in tracking this coin in the future. But I will track it in the meantime until this fails us. But as of right now, we had an A wave, a deep B wave, looking to make a C wave in 5. And this would make a flat pattern. In which case, after the fact, if this is completed, we'd want to see a sideways consolidation to be able to make further upside. And it would make a larger A, B, C to the upside. I'm not going to get into that now. That's down in the future. But as of right now, we need to see this area hold. We can come a little bit lower, but really not much. As soon as we pass that 618 and break previous support, it gets pretty nasty. So go down to the 4 hour in this area. Sorry, the 1 hour. Even this entire structure is very messy. I can only reach and make a pretty ugly count in here. It's either like a complex correction as like a flat or a double zigzag. The big issue is in here. I can count a 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. We get a triangle, 4, 5. But that would be a pretty extended flat pattern. And then this is all chopped too. This would be a flat as well. So it would be more of a double 3 where we get an A, B, and then we get our ending diagonal. But again, I don't love the shape of it either. So I'm not happy with this structure. It's very, very ugly. But what's more important is the reaction over here. If we're able to make a 5-wave move to the upside, at that point I would be interested in a trade. But we got to get through the 50 and the 618 first. Get rid of that. We got to get through this area first. I want to see a break of resistance over here on this X wave. And I'd like to see it in a 5-wave move as an A wave. This looks like a diagonal to begin with. Otherwise, it's a corrective structure and we're making more downside. But if we can get through here and make a 5-wave move, then there is hope for this trade. But until then, there's not much. So if this is a leading diagonal, what I would like to see to keep this true is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, get above this X wave, break through the 618, in which case we would look for an ABC correction to the downside, hold previous 4th wave support, something like this. Zoom out a little bit. Something like this I would get behind for a trade setup because then we'd be panning out our larger A, B, C to complete up around $10. So that's what I'm looking for. I'll be interested in the trade setup at that point, but not at the moment. There's just too many things that can be happening. And we'd look for the trade setup in the future, something like this. It's a nice trade setup in the future, but as of right now, until it gives us clarity, you're just literally guessing. You have no edge in this market. We could be in the middle of a correction, middle of an ending wave. But I really need to see this happen now to make sure this diagonal stays intact. Otherwise, we could be making a lot of different corrections. That's the issue when all we have is 333 to go off of, right? We need the market to show itself to give us some edge in our trades. All right, guys, that's it for Filecoin. Wish I had more for you, but I'll be waiting for this setup. But I will update this as we go, because if we get a nice move up from here, it opens up the possibility for this to complete in a diagonal. All right, guys, thanks for watching.